Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? If you can hear me and see me, give me a thumbs up. It seems that we're maybe doing a little bit flippy floppy today. It's sitting and spinning. I am not in a good location, so you guys just bear with me a little bit. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Pam. Hi, Harola, Marion, Tom, Barb. Y'all are going to hear a little beeping noise and stuff like that. We've got people that like their horns here in the campground on their little golf carts. They like tooting their little horns. It's a thrill to them. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Cheryl. It's a nice place. Don't get me wrong, but it's crowded. Hi, Lingo. Kathleen. That's right. Hit that like button. Build our algorithm. We're doing great with YouTube. They're giving us free music now. Hi, Jan. I got a couple of announcements. There won't be a class this evening. However, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we will have tonight's class. We're going to do it tomorrow. You think the internet is crappy today? After 5 o'clock, forget it. We have no internet, basically. I have 2 hotspots and Starlink, and all of them are just dead to the world after 5 o'clock. So we're going to do tonight's class tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Hopefully the internet will work with us tomorrow a little better than today. We have bounce servers and everything else. We got the best of the best that's offered. Where we're located at, they put us at the very back of the park. We're under a whole bunch of trees. Getting any kind of service through the treetops is next to impossible. Unless we put our antenna out on the truck and park it 5 miles away. We don't have a cord that long. So, and besides that, people might not like that, you know? So, we just have to grin and bear it. Friday, we will be moving the rig again to another location. There's not as many trees, so Starlink should work really good over there. Plus, it's a more busy place, so there's a lot of options. Yeah, I know, Jeremy. I can't help what it's doing. There's some strange things going on, and we can't figure it out. The only thing I have on is my mic that I speak through. That's it. There's no speakers on, nothing. I don't know where it was coming from. Now, you might hear the coffee maker. It's cooking coffee in there. So, yeah, we don't have a cat. We got a dog. Got 2 of them, but no cats. I'm allergic to cats. Something about the dander. Don't ask me. That's just what the allergist told me. But, we're going to be moving Friday, okay, to another location. Hi, Bev. And once we get there, we'll have better internet. We'll have better services. Hi, Jill. Jill, it's not that I've been neglecting you. There's a lot going on this side of the world. Taz, great to see you. I got to get up with you as well. There's a couple of things I want to talk about before we get into the lesson for today. Hi, Mavis. A lot of questions coming in on the next round. A lot of, I want this and I want that and I want this. Okay, yeah, that's all great, fine, and dandy. But I want you to test your work that you are offering for me to put on the doily, because I don't have time to test it because I have to set up for the, the Technique Tuesday class, and I have to set up for the class at, the evening class. Plus, I have work here at the house to do. Okay, I've got a lot going on. I've got the website that I'm working on, YouTube. I've got a lot of requests on different things like putting highlights. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Kaylin. Um, putting directionals on the videos to show you where we discussed something that was off topic, but yet it was pertaining to tatting. And I've got a lot of requests on that. Yes, I would love to do it. If I could split myself into about 40 more people, I could get all this done. Okay? Pam is in training on helping me. Okay? We're trying to get the new email going. Dennis has been working with it. So far, so good. He's ran a couple of tests. And if everything works as suspected, we'll be using email Dodo. Same email Georgia used. So it is a mail forwarding service type thing. And we just send the email. You cannot respond to those emails that come to you from email Dodo. You will have to email the class email. So when I send out the link for class, that's on a server that doesn't allow mail to come in. Okay? All right. Melissa's in the house. Awesome. Janella, great to see you. That right there is a biggie, okay? The email. We are also working on getting our own channel address that's a permanent channel address. YouTube is saying it's going to take about 3 weeks for it to be assigned and set up. Once that happens, then you just click the same link all the time, and it will be on the webpage. Hi, Tasia. So, with that said, once we get all this going in the right direction, it's going to run smoother. Okay? Now, I have been putting things up on the website as well. New patterns and stuff. Hi, Sue. Hi, Pasha. Tasneem is in Pakistan. I know we've got some Canadians in here. What else we got? What other countries are represented in here? Shout out your country. Also, once we get all this set up and the website going, what the website mainly is going to be is techniques and patterns. Okay? Information you need as a tatter. Class participation projects, things like that will be on the website. All right? It will not reflect the same way that Georgia's reflected with the logs and stuff, because we are doing video classes now, not chat room. We have everything logged. It's on the video channel. All you have to do is go in there, click on it. Belgium, awesome. Click on whatever video you want to watch. Now, there are some other videos that we've got to process that are from Georgia's old site and get them going on this site. Yes, yours truly did those videos too. I could remake them, but we're adding another chore to what's already existing. And that's a lot of chores. Okay? So, with that said, we're looking at getting our YouTube channel up and running on its own link within 3 to 4 weeks. Let's give them 4 weeks. You know how people can be slow and sluggish, okay? We are looking to start the email dodo within the next couple of weeks. We are looking at getting more on the website, all right, and getting more information out to you guys. Then the next thing we're looking at is class. You know, how long is the class is going to run for, before we take a break, all right? I'm looking at several things, okay? I can teach a class once a week from here to eternity, but I'd like to take vacation time just like the rest of the world. And there would be times that we have things that we want to do, that will interfere with the class times. So when that happens, we just have to make compensation for it. I realize I've been out sick and things have not been regular, and it just really irritates me. I like a regular program for everything I do in life so that I don't have to think about it. I know what my routine is. So that's what the end goal is on all this. But I want your all's opinion on over the summer break. How long should it be? And, give me some input from you. Let me know what you think. All right? So with that said, today we are going to do what they call the Swirl Join. Now, Nina Libin, she's the one that created this when she was working in her Benal lace. Now, I know I just mutilated the name, Nina. Please forgive me. You know I can't say that name for love nor money. But we know what you do, and it is just stunning. She uses this Swirl Join. And I see that this can be very helpful in the land of just general tatting. And the reason I say that is it tightens up our tatting in certain areas. Makes it look neater and more professional. So, without further ado, let's go down and let's look at this Swirl Join and see what we can do with it. All right, so let's go to the desktop. Well, it bounced back. Let's try this again. Okay, we're getting a lot of response. On 2 weeks, off 2 weeks for summer. Jill, that's an option. Melissa, you're awesome. Thank you. Such kind words. But I want to make the students happy. Like I say, these classes are for you guys. They're not for us. All right. Also, Pam, after class, I need to speak to you about something. We have a student that is a needle tatter that really would like to pick your brains, is what she's saying, okay? So, without further ado, let's look at this fun stuff I got on my desk. Okay? Now, here we got our little rings and chains. Beautiful rings and chains. And we're using gold thread that's Sibylla. And we're using a green thread that happens to be Elizabeth thread. Now, you can't see much of a difference between the two. But there is. Sibylla is a 3-ply. And Elizabeth is a 6-ply. But if you want to mix the two, it definitely works. It definitely works. So, without further ado, let's get going on this. Now, this is how we normally do 4 rings in a quadrant, okay? And you'll either have another chain and it'd be just a little small motif to start your pattern. Or you could have chains coming off, thrown chains, thrown rings, just all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, now, here's the deal. When we have 4 rings together, we always have this huge picot that we have to join all of these rings to, okay? When we do that, if you can see, it tends right there in the center to leave a really big hole. Okay, now, granted, you might want it to, like glue a little crystal. Want that. You want to tighten this up and make these rings sit really close and look better. That's where your swirl join comes in. Now, this is what the tight that center is. There's no gap, nothing. Right there in the center. Now, let me hold these two up side by side so you can see them. See the difference? This is without the swirl join, and this is with the swirl join. Okay? Now, which one of those would you rather have in your tatting? Do you want the gap or do you not want the gap? You have to make that decision ahead of time before you move on, okay? If you don't want it, use the swirl join. And it is so easy, okay? Mind you, I always say things are easy in tatting. And the reality of it is they are easy. They sound difficult, all right? But 99% of our tatting techniques are fairly simple if you take the time to think it through. Don't try to rush. Tatting is something you need, and that's one thing it teaches you, is how to have patience. I had to grab a drink of tea. All right. Yes, Janella, it's a swirl join. Now, the reason it's called a swirl join is how it's made. Now, what we do is we tat up 3 of our rings, okay, and 3 of our chains. Now, this 4th ring is going to be the one that ties everything together. All right? Now, excuse me. I think I have a frog in my throat. Okay, Joanne, I like that. 1 project class each of the month. We can do that. Now, I like that better than, you know, going through a regular class and teaching a technique. Why not teach a pattern over the summer to something simple, you know, that has a special technique in it? Think about that, guys. All right, now, here's the deal. We have our rings are 6 very tiny picot 6. Our chains are going to be 7, a medium picot, and 7. And you're going to tat up 3 of those, okay? After you tat them up, the next thing you're going to do is start your 4th ring, okay? Let me get off enough thread and we'll start this 4th ring. And it's 6 double stitches. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, we're not going to make a picot. We're going to join all these rings into this picot. All right? The way we're going to do it is we run our little hook through the 1st picot, run our little hook through the 2nd picot, and then run our little hook through the 3rd picot. Okay? And you see you've got all 3 of your rings, and it looks like it's all bunched up. It's not going to work. It will. Okay? Then you're going to grab your thread. Now at this point, I'm going to give you a warning, and please heed that warning I'm giving. If your crochet is you're going to pull that thread through the 1st picot, and you're going to pull it through the 2nd picot, then you're going to pull it through that 3rd picot. Okay? That's where, if it's going to split, it will split there every time. All right? Which it tried to on me. We caught it in time. Then you grab that ring that you just pulled through, all them picots, and you put it on your finger so that you can put your shuttle through the ring. Tighten it down. Now, once you get it tightened down, adjust all your rings. Okay? Just all them rings. And now put in your last 6 on that ring. I'll repeat it in a minute, Stephen. There we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we close our ring. Okay, and then you end up with all 4 rings brought in together and no gap. Now I'm going to answer the questions. First of all, the warning is, do not split your plies. Make sure your hook is the right sized hook to match your tatting thread. Okay? You don't want a teeny hook on size 20 thread because it is going to split your plies. And if you split your plies on this technique, it will show even if you fix it. Okay? It will cause the thread to gap up. Okay? So be mindful. Now, when you start feeding your picots on, you can feed them from any direction. You can start with the last ring and work your way forward, or you can start with the first ring and work your way backwards. And you just pick up the picot and you line them up. Okay? That's all you're going to do. Let me show you. When you make your rings, here, and get that out of the way. I got enough thread, we are going to try. All right, we got 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we're going to put a picot in, a very tiny picot. Okay, I'm going to put just 2 rings with some bare thread space. Jeremy, there's a lot of techniques all of us have done, and guess what? We find out the name much later. That's 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now I've got 6 picot 6 on that ring, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a bare space between the two so I can show again. Okay. So this bare space would actually be your chain. Okay. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes, I tap very fast. A lot of people tell me that all the time. But I try to slow myself down for the class. So if I ever get too fast, let me know. Okay? It's just habit. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now I'm just going to show you how to thread them on. Now we've got 2 rings here. We're going to pretend this bare thread space is a chain. Alright, now these 2 rings sit side by side on my hand. Not usually if you've got them tatted up. Now, you can start with this ring. You can go through that picot and then come over this way. In other words, take your hook and come backwards. I always take my hook and go the other way. This to me, it just doesn't feel right because I'm right-handed. But for a left-handed tatter, they would start from this side and go forward. You see? And we're starting from the right side and going forward. So what you do is you would drop this hook down the first picot on that first ring, the second picot on that second ring, and you would have your rings lined up. Now, if you had, instead of 4 rings, if you had, say, 6 rings meeting in the middle, you could use this same technique. It's not just for 4 rings. It's for as many rings that you are connecting in the center. Now, there is a lot of motifs out there that have a center, and the center is rings, and the outer part is chains. guess what? You can use this technique, the swirl join, on that. You know what else you can do? Say the chains meet in the center, the rings are on the outside. Guess what? You can use a swirl join on your chains. Okay? And it will draw your chains into each other like this. As you're pulling them in, they would join in together. Just like your rings. Okay? So you can use the swirl join. It has various, choices that you can play with. You're tatting a piece that has clover. 4 clovers that meet in the center. That center clover, the center ring on the clover, you can do that join for all several things attached to one picot. You can use the swirl join. Now, in your email today, I sent, let me flip this over to back up north here, face forward, swirl join, and how to do it. There is also a pattern attached that Nina did. It is really a cute pattern. And I've tatted that pattern with the beads, okay? And it came out cute. And you can take that and make several in a row. It makes a great trim for a little girl's dress, for a jacket, a collar. So many things you can do with it, okay? I advise you to try it. Okay? Play with it. Have fun with it. But learn the swirl join. And once you do it enough, you will find locations where you can use it to your benefit and make life a lot easier. Okay? So, swirl join. Is that something you're going to put in your tatting journal? Or are you going to leave it out in left field? I would put it in my tatting journal because that is a technique that can save you hours of trouble. All right? So any questions? Okay, Jill, you got a question? Right. It goes in your journal. Because it's a technique you're not going to run into often, but you'll run into it often enough. And if you don't have it right there in front of your face, guess what? You forget all about that technique. You use hours of your time trying to get this to work right and get that picot centered right. The swirl join stops that little problem and everything lines up like it should. So you see how it can become useful. So yes. Oh, you was answering me? Okay. Yeah, I'm running a little lag. Dennis hooked up my other laptop so that I could see how far behind I am between the two. And I am running probably a 3-minute lag from what I'm saying to you all to what you all are seeing. So, yeah, he did it so I could see what was going on. I've noticed a couple of times I cut off class before y'all saw the end. And I did not mean to do that. And it's because I didn't know where I was at in the class on your side. So, do we have any other questions about anything before I go into the spiel? Tasia wanted to know the directions of pickup. Pick up from the ring that's closest to you. If you're right-handed, you're going to pick up 1, 2, 3. If you're left-handed, you're going to pick up 1, 2, 3. Okay? A left-handed tatter, they're tatting. Tatting of direction is left to right. Right-handed tatters are right to left. Remember that. Left-handed tatters, they write their patterns for left-handed people. So if you run into a pattern that is written for a left-handed person, there are only a few left-handed tatters that make sure it goes for right-handers as well as left-handers. But if you run into a pattern and it's not working, say you get to a point and you try to join something and it's way over there on the other side, guess what? It's a... Yeah, I don't like it either. If you make a pattern from YouTube, can you sell the product? I don't understand the question. It depends on where you're getting that pattern. Well, I will say this. There are some people on YouTube that will tat up patterns, okay, that they don't have the right to share publicly, and they are violating copyright. Now, if you take one of those patterns and you decide to make it and sell it, guess what? You could be the one to get in trouble, not the person that made the video so much. You can say they made the video, all that's going to happen to them is they're going to get a slap on the wrist and shut down for a while. Okay? If the owner states it, right, Jill, if the owner states that you can, you can. However, we have patterns within the class, and the people that have donated these patterns have given permission for you to tat up the pattern. You may sell it. However, it must be a tatted piece, not the pattern. Don't sell the pattern. You cannot sell the pattern. It is not yours to sell. If you make this up, even though I made it up, it could belong to somebody, I don't know. But say you tatted this up and you're just going to sell it as a pair of earrings. Alright? Now, what you have to do is say, the pattern belongs to so-and-so. Okay? If you do Nina's pattern, the pattern belongs to Nina Libin. I give credit to Nina for the design. And I am selling the finished product in honor of Nina Libin. Does everybody understand that? What that does is it shows that you are not stealing this. You're not stealing the pattern. You are sharing her work. You're giving credit to Nina. All you did was tat it. She created it. Okay? So make sure, always, 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 please think of those designers. This little exercise that we are doing with this round robin, how many of you all feel it's pretty hard to work on, figure out? Yeah, I know, Jill. I started out back when I first started tatting with George's classes, and I didn't make even past the first 2 years. And that was when she handed me the classes. So, but yeah, I want to know how many of you all think that this round robin project's tough to think of what you can do next. Because when you do turn in for me to do something on your round robin, remember, you have to test that just like a designer does. Because what you are doing is designing. Whether you realize it or not, you are designing. Now, Sue's great to help you through the kinks and the rough spots because I am not a designer. Okay? She can explain all the technical stuff. I don't know. Okay? But the work you're putting into this pattern and the forethought is what every designer goes through. That's right, Jill. That's right. It is tough, but that's how you learn. But designers go through this, and when they write a book, okay, let me tell you something. We have some designers that have taken up to 2 years to create a small booklet. That's how hard it is. How do you create a new design when there's so many out there that have been around for 100 years. Yes, it is challenging. Right, and it is a lot of work. But you know the lesson in this? The entire lesson in this shows you how much work goes into every pattern that is for sale. Goes into every pattern that is freely given. So remember your designers. Remember your designers. And this is a way to get you to understand from their viewpoint how hard it really is. And the more technical the pattern, the harder it is. Yeah, I know, Sue. 13 and 15 seems to be the stretches of double stitches. However, there is a way you can accommodate that. Okay? You know what else is a chain, don't you? But it turns into a ring. It's a self-closing mock ring. That is a good use of those chains with those huge numbers. Another thing is we could use them for onion rings. Okay, the outer row of onion rings. We can use them for chains for clovers. That's a good way. We can use them for points. There's many different ways you can use those chains. Just think about it. All right. Now, if you find that the 13 and the 15 with only 3 picots is just a little much, flip it around. Flip it around. Do 3 double stitches between, so many picots. You got 15 picot or 15 double stitches, say 3 double stitches or 5 double stitches, 3 picots. You can break them up. Yeah. Yeah, my brain's not here. So, but yeah, I mean, just think about what you're doing. It's like, who was it? Marion. I think it was Marion that turned in and said she wanted a folded ring. Understand what you're asking for and what the rules are of that technique. The rules of a folded ring is you have to fold it over another ring. There's not a ring on that outer motif that you could fold over on. You see what I'm saying? Because of all the picots. Usually when you fold over on a ring, let me hold this up so you can see. When you're doing a folded ring, you run your ring through this and fold it over that ring and join it in the center. Okay, or on the sides, on a picot. That's how it's done. A folded ring is literally folded over another ring. Okay? So think about the techniques you're wanting to use. And are they feasible for that area? You have issues with onion rings. That's what Jeremy says. Jeremy, I can teach a class next week on onion rings, if you'd like, and show you various ways to do onion rings to make it easier so that it doesn't show that it's an onion ring, that it looks more like it's flowing. Okay? Well, we can do that. I also have videos up on that as well that you can practice with. I don't mind teaching it. Interlocking rings. Interlocking rings is going to be tough to do on that round because you have to set yourself up for interlocking rings. Yeah, I may have to. Y'all have to understand, I have not slept in 2 days. Really, I haven't. We went to, we had to get up with the ducks and the birds and the chickens. Actually, I think we made it up before them and went to the doctors and donated blood to the vampire yesterday. It was dark when we left. Then we come home. My little dog, Mia, has been keeping me up all night long. She's got her days and nights mixed up. So it's playtime at 3 o'clock in the morning. And Mommy's like, I want to check out my eyelids. And she's like, no. So, okay, a refresher on onion rings. We'll do that. Okay, what is it called when some of the stitches on the ring are shifted to the inside with a Josephine set? It's a Josephine chain. Okay, on a Josephine ring, it's just a Josephine ring or a Josephine knot. Yeah, thanks, Teresa. Sorry. I'll get into both of those. I've just had some really strange requests that will not work on that outer, on the third round. You have to, the requests that are coming in are requests that you need to plan for. And that, those 2 rows that we're working on, they're not going to work with those 2 rows. So you have to plan it to work in your next round. And that's what design is. It is a test subject. Okay, you have to test what your theory is to see if you can get it to work. Okay, because if you can't get it to work, I'm not going to get it to work. It's not going to happen for me. And please remember, number 1, I am not a master tatter. There's a lot of stuff out there I don't, but I am willing to learn it, to teach it. You just got to give me time to learn it. A turf Josephine ring? I've never heard that, Katia. Yeah, I've done a folded ring. A folded ring looks like a half moon. Right, right. The curled ring, Nanetta had a good tutorial on curled rings. If I can find that, I'll get that up on the website. And folded ring, it's also, if memory serves me right, a folded ring is also a moon ring, a half moon ring. Yes, Katia, please send me the link. Some of you all in the class, which I am so grateful for, you all dig and find things that I've never heard of before. And I just love it because that just sparks my brain and says, hey, this is cool, you know? And if it's something that once I try it and I say, well, wait a minute, I've seen this before, it means somebody else has given it a different name. And that is a problem with the tatting community. There are 5 different names for every technique, and you will think that it is one thing, and then it's not, it's something else, you know, and it's because of the names. That's okay, Sue. I wasn't fussing. Right. You're right, Teresa. I really need to go get something to drink. I've had this scratch right here in my throat since we had COVID. I cannot get rid of it. I feel like I've swallowed, what is it, asbestos or something? Fiberglass? That's what it feels like. And I cannot keep my mouth from getting dry. That's a side effect of the COVID, I guess. I don't know. Drives me insane. But yeah, I mean, like I say, there's a lot of techniques. Teresa can vouch for this that have like 10 different names. And it is aggravating at best because you get a new student and they're like, well, this is called so-and-so, and it confuses a new student worse than anything. Exactly, Jill. Exactly. And there is no set terminology for tatters like there is for crochet and knitters. Why that happened, I don't know. Blows my mind though. Especially when I was doing, Sue, you remember when I was doing chain theory? And I was like, why is it called this and it's called that? And I mean, it drove me insane. One chain had 5 names. Why? It's whoever come up with it, they want to name it something else. It's like, I don't want to start this argument, but it's true. The balanced double stitch and the double stitch. It's basically the same thing. It's just got 2 different names. And it's because somebody comes up and changes a stitch count or something like that, and they say, okay, this is different. And it's really not. Tatting world is too far and too wide. And then you've got other countries that do things different than we do here in the States. So that makes it chains. And you get 9 different names for one technique. That's where your tatting journal, wherever mine is, it's somewhere around here. We're still packed. That's why the journal comes in handy. When you put a technique in there, okay, make sure you name it all its names, because you're going to be like me in 10 years. Now, I did that once before. What was it called? And then somebody will bring it up, and then it will confuse you because, wait a minute, it's too similar. Okay? Exactly, Teresa. I couldn't have said it better myself. Teresa says, there are many different names for various techniques, probably due to various languages, isolation, and description based on the action. And that is, you can't say a truer statement than that. And you talk about getting confused. Yeah, it happens to the best of us, and it happens to the newest of us. All right? I agree with you, Pasha. And we've got a lot of tatters that have been around for a long time. In class today, if you add up all the time that tatters have spent in the tatting world, we've got well over, I would say, 1,000 years of tatting available, tatting knowledge, because of the amount of time everybody in this class has spent in the tatting world. So, yeah. And I know that we did, what was it? International Tat Day one year in Georgia's class, and we had over 750 years of tatting experience in that class. Isn't that awesome? And every one of them could name a technique with a different name, and it was the same technique that we were doing under another name. So, yeah, mind blown. So, but the swirl join, make use of it. Do make use of it. Okay. Eve, don't say that. You do some beautiful tatting. Don't think you don't. I've seen your work. So, with that said, there won't be an evening class tonight because I'm not going to have internet after 5 o'clock. I mean, a snail could probably move faster than the amount of internet I will have. So we will do tonight's class tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. I was supposed to take the rig in the morning for diagnostics, but because we're moving on Friday, we decided to wait on that until we're situated someplace for a lengthy amount of time. And right now, everything is 5 to 6 days stay. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of moving. Judith Connor's books. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, she's helping with some information for the classes. Contemporary tatting, is that it? No. Where are you at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah, come on. We're being slow here. I'm thinking it's contemporary tatting. I wouldn't swear to it. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't swear to it. Shopping. Going. Books. Okay. I've got the book. I just can't. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. No, that's Rebecca's. Sure you wasn't talking about Rebecca? Yeah, Illustrated Dictionary of Tatting. Yeah, Palmetto's has the list of tatting terms as well on their website. It's more of a condensed list. Anybody that wants that job of creating a list, you can have that job, and we will be more than happy to post it up on the class site of gathering all those tatting terms, but you got your work cut out for you because there's a blue million tatting terms. But once you learn the basics in tatting, the rest of it is just fodder for the brain. And it doesn't matter the term that's used for the technique. You're going to know which technique to use in given situations. That's it. I am going to call it quits for today. Are there any more questions? Hi, Bernice. I didn't even see you come in. And Julie? Let's see. I know I missed some people coming in. Man, you turn your head in 2 seconds, everybody's just pops in and says hello. All right. For those of you that are students, please give us a like if you like the class. And that builds our algorithm, puts us at the top of the list of all the tatting videos. Next thing, for those of you that are not an enrolled student, please do enroll. It is free. There's a lot of information that you can garner on our private Facebook group. There is a lot of people from all over the world that's there. Also, if you learned anything or you gathered knowledge or this video was helpful to you in your challenging adventure of tatting, please feel free to give us a super thanks, a super sticker, or a super chat. Your name will be mentioned, and your name will also go into a hat for a grand prize drawing of something you will really, really like. So, with that said, I wish you all a wonderful afternoon, and I will see everyone tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Now, when we are back tomorrow, we will work on the round robin and pick up some things for tomorrow to do and add to that round robin. Until then, may all your threads make beautiful lace. Happy tatting, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.